Step inside the Warren Museum, a place filled with objects too dangerous to be left in the world. Each item here tells a terrifying story of curses, hauntings, and the unexplained. Tonight, we'll uncover the secrets behind the most infamous artifacts in the collection. Are you ready to face the darkness? We begin with perhaps the most infamous artifact, Annabelle the Doll. At first glance, she may look like an ordinary Raggedy Ann, but Annabelle's story is anything but ordinary. In the 1970s, a nursing student named Donna received the doll as a gift from her mother. Not long after, Donna and her roommate Angie began noticing subtle, unsettling changes. Annabelle would appear in different positions, as though she had moved on her own. At first, they thought it was a prank, but then things took a darker turn. They began finding scraps of parchment paper with messages scrawled in childlike handwriting. "Help me and help Lou." The women were baffled, as they didn't own parchment paper. Then came the knocks on the walls. 3 knocks, always 3, as if mocking the Holy Trinity. Lou, a friend of the women, was targeted the most. He awoke one night to find Annabelle at his feet, and seconds later, he felt sharp, burning pain in his chest. Scratches appeared on his skin, as though claws had raked across his flesh. Desperate, Donna contacted the Warrens, who quickly identified the doll as a conduit for a demonic entity. Annabelle now sits locked in a glass case in the museum with a stern warning: "Positively, do not open." Yet even confined, her malevolence seems to seep through the glass. Next, we meet the Shadow Doll, a sinister creation steeped in dark rituals. Unlike Annabelle, this doll was not made to bring comfort or joy. Its very construction is an abomination. Its frame fashioned from animal bones, its eyes made from dark stones that seem to glint with malice. The doll's grotesque face is said to have been carved to invoke terror. The Shadow Doll was used in black magic rituals and has one chilling ability: it can invade your dreams. Victims who have dared to even look at the doll claim to have woken up, gasping, unable to breathe, with a suffocating pressure on their chest. Some dreamt of the doll standing over them, its bony fingers stretching toward their throats. The most terrifying part: several victims have died in their sleep under mysterious circumstances, with no apparent cause of death. To this day, the doll remains hidden behind layers of protection in the Warren Museum, but its mere presence is said to fill the air with an oppressive weight. Mirrors have always been seen as windows to other realms, and the conjuring mirror embodies that belief in the darkest way possible. This antique mirror was discovered in the home of a man driven to madness. He claimed that while scrying, he saw twisted faces, grotesque, unrecognizable visages that stared back at him with empty, lifeless eyes. Over time, the visions grew more vivid. He began seeing himself in horrifying ways, his reflection mutilated, decayed, and unrecognizable. As the days passed, he became convinced that the mirror wasn't showing reflections, but rather something darker, a glimpse into a demonic realm. The Warrens took the mirror to their museum, but even now, those who stand before it claim to feel an icy chill radiating from its surface. Some say that if you look closely, you can see shadowy figures moving in the reflection, even if the room behind you is empty. Would you dare to gaze into this cursed artifact? In a quiet corner of the Warren Museum sits an antique organ, silent and foreboding. But this organ has a history drenched in the supernatural. Originally belonging to a Victorian-era home, the organ became the centerpiece of inexplicable events. Neighbors often reported hearing haunting melodies coming from the house at odd hours, even when the occupants were away. After a family moved in, they began experiencing strange phenomena. Objects moving on their own, doors slamming shut, and an overwhelming sense of being watched. The organ's keys would depress by themselves, playing discordant notes that echoed eerily through the house. A seance revealed that the organ's original owner, a musician obsessed with contacting the dead, had performed countless rituals with the instrument. The Warrens brought the organ to their museum, but even disconnected, it's said that faint ghostly notes can sometimes be heard resonating from it. Visitors often report a strange sensation of being pulled toward the instrument, as though it's calling out for another performance. Deep in the Connecticut woods, the Warrens stumbled upon one of their most terrifying discoveries, the Satanic Idol. Standing about 2 feet tall, this grotesque wooden figure has horns that curve menacingly, an elongated face, and a body carved with intricate, sinister symbols. It was found surrounded by a circle of burnt-out candles and strange markings etched into the ground. The locals spoke in hushed tones about strange gatherings in the woods, figures in robes chanting in an unknown language. The Warrens identified the idol as a focal point for summoning dark entities. The area where it was found was rife with strange occurrences: livestock disappearing, shadowy figures seen darting between trees, and an unshakable feeling of dread that lingered long after leaving the site. When the idol was brought to the museum, the activity didn't stop. Ed Warren himself reported hearing guttural whispers near the idol late at night. Visitors have fainted just being in its presence, and some claim to have seen shadowy forms hovering near it. The Warren Museum is a chilling reminder of the unknown forces lurking in the world. Each artifact tells a story of terror and serves as a warning. Some things are better left undisturbed. Which artifact did you find the most terrifying? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, some doors are better left unopened. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you're brave enough.